Morning! As you can tell, my throat is a lot better now. A lot of relaxation over the weekend. Sorry again about Friday not being able to do the times table test. I'll try and do a bumper one to try and make up for it. I've got Hi George, we've got Dora, we've got Susie in Wales, we've got Sam, we've got Rowan, we've got Liam and Jack. Oh, it is a bit scratchy, isn't it? We've got a Poppy. Hello. We've got Tom, we've got Sophie, hi, we've got Zach and Henry, we've got Rosabella, hello, we've got Mia and Noah in Port Talbot, hello everybody. So yeah, give the challenge question a go. You need to put the more than or less than signs in between these decimals in order to compare them. So we've got 3.2 and 3.8, 4.64 against 4.39. and 6.19 against 6.8. So have a look at those, tell me what you think, and then we'll start the main lesson. We've got Javira in Newcastle, hello. We've got Leo and Eleanor, hi. We've got Noah and Timothy in Bedworth, sorry. We've got Bella, hello. Hi Caris, hello. We've got a lot of people watching today, it's amazing. Okay, so we've got, I think we've got one answer that's come in. We've got Dora, Dora's had a go at 2 of the answers. Dora's had a go at all 3, well done Dora. Okay, so let's have a look, need to get started. So you'll see in a minute why I did this question first. Because I know it's not, if you've got the sheet, it looks like it's not related today, but those of you who are patrons, you'll recognise this from yesterday's lesson that you did on your own. Okay, so it says add the more than or less than signs to compare these decimals. So the first one, we've got 3.2 and 3.8. Now watch the trick that I do. We've got 3 and 3. So as you can see, before the decimal point, we've got the whole number, and that whole number is the ones. So if we compare the ones, we've got 3 ones and 3, so they're the same. We've got the same amount of ones in each column. So now we go to the next smallest column. Remember, decimals, each decimals gets smaller. So the thing that's smaller than the ones into the decimals is the tenths. We don't have once. We have the tenths. And remember, when you're talking about decimals, exaggerate how you say it, because I know we have tens as our whole number, and then we have tenths when we talk about decimals. So exaggerate, like sound like a snake when you're talking about decimals. So in this number, we've got 2 tenths, and in this number, we've got 8 tenths. So in this number here, we have more tenths, so therefore, the number has to be bigger. So 3.8 is bigger than 3.2. Next one, so let's compare. So we've got 3-digit number. We've got, before the decimal point, in both of them, we've got one number. They're both 4, so we've got 4 ones. They're the same. And then when we go to the next number, let's go to the tenths. We've got 6 tenths and only 3 tenths here. 6 tenths is bigger than 3 tenths. So we can go like that. Either way, you can see that 64 is bigger than 39, but don't rely on that, and you'll see why in the last one. So the last one, we've got 6 ones here and 6 ones there. So we go across to the next digit, and we've got 1 tenth here, and we've got 8 tenths there, and 8 is bigger than 1. Now some of you might think, well, Steph, it's 19 there. And there's only 8, and 19 is bigger than 8. But like I say, you have to go 1 decimal point at a time. If I change this number here, so it's got the same number of digits, 3, it will be 6.8. And if I'm going to add another digit at the end, it will be 0. And 8 is bigger than 19. So that's another way of doing it if you're not sure, putting the 0 to make it the same number. But it's better just to go one place value at a time. 8 is bigger than 1. And don't worry if you didn't get that one, it catches a lot of people out. Okay? Right. So this week, we are learning to compare between decimals and fractions. Now, sorry, we're not adding them, but we're comparing them. Decimals and fractions. And I wanted to start with the place value because when you're comparing decimals and fractions, it's the place value that really, really matters. And it really helps to be able to say a decimal value out loud in order to compare it. So, for example, I'm not looking at the sheet yet. So, for example, I've got a decimal. And now I'm going to use 0 point each time because when we talk about decimals and fractions, we're talking about less than the whole. If I start putting ones into my number, like 1.82, can you see we've got a whole number and then a decimal? So I'm going to stick each time to 0 point. Okay, 0 point. I'm going to use the 19 that we had earlier. Okay. So 0.19. Let's look at the place value of this number. Now the naught is the ones. So we've got no ones. Okay. And then we've got 1/10. And we've got 1/100th. Now I'm going to keep that there. Because I'm going to now put in a slightly simpler decimal, say like 0.7. Now again, we've got sorry, if you call it units, ones, units, exactly the same, yeah? So units or ones, doesn't matter which one. And then the next digit along is our tenths. Okay? Now, when we're talking about fractions, listen to the decimal. 0.7 there, what do we have? We have 0.7, but we also have 7/10. 7 out of a possible, what's the maximum tenths you can have there? Well, you can have up to 10 that takes it across to one whole number. So we've got 7/10. So when you talk about it as a fraction, you've got 7/10. So you put it over 10. So 0.7 as a fraction is 7 over 10. 7/10, 7 over 10. Okay? With the one above, we've not just got tenths. We've also crept into the hundredths. Okay? So because we crept into the hundredths, it can't just be over 10. Okay? So it's got to be over 100. So 0.19 is 19 over 100. Okay. If you want another trick to help you, as well as saying it out loud, because I know we say 7/10, and I know we don't really say 19 over 100. You don't say 19 hundredths as such. Watch this trick. However many numbers there are on the top, one number on the top, is how many zeros there are at the bottom. Okay, so here we've got 2 numbers at the top and 2 zeros at the bottom. So let's just try another one. If you've got 0.284, we've now gone ones, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So what is it going to be as a fraction? 284. There's 3 digits, so there's going to be 3 zeros. That might help. That might help. Just remembering that rule is brilliant. I think the tenths is quite easy because we use tenths quite a lot. We use it in fractions of numbers and fractions of shapes. And it's these ones that get a little bit harder. So I think that rule of however many numbers on top and how many zeros are at the bottom can be really, really helpful. And today, we're just sticking with denominators that are friendly. So if you've got the sheet, Amazing. If you haven't got the sheet, don't worry. Okay. We're going to go through the same questions. This pen, this black pen, is the most stubborn pen. Right, so here we go. 0.28. These, by the way, these are all decimals that I'd like you to put into fractions. So your answers should all be fractions. So 0.28, 0.42, 0.9. Let me just see how you get on with those three first. And then we'll carry on. Just seeing where we're at. Brilliant trick. Amazing. Yeah, Torin, don't worry. We've just started. We've only just started. Hi, Ollie. Hi, James and Laura. Hi from me. Yeah, don't worry if you've not got the sheet. This is the same questions. Don't worry. If you don't know what I mean by the sheet, if you're a lovely, lovely supporter of Maths Live, like I say, you patrons keep me going on this journey. You get this sheet for each. You get a whole week. You get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday tasks. Okay, but it's fine if you don't want to join them. But thank you again to you patrons, because otherwise I still wouldn't be doing Maths Live. Okay, so let's see if there's any answers coming in. Share. We've got some. Okay. Excellent. Right. So 0.28. What is that as a fraction? So we're in the tenths. We've actually crept into the hundredths. Okay. So it's 28. And if you want to use that trick, because there's two numbers at the top, you put 2 zeros at the bottom. Okay. 2 zeros at the bottom. With these, it's always going to be 10, 100 or 1,000. Okay, so 2 zeros. Same with this one. 42 over 100. 2 digits at the top, 2 zeros at the bottom. This one, 0.9. So 9, it's 9 tenths. We know how to say 0.9. 9 tenths. There's 1 digit at the top. That means there's 1 zero at the bottom. So 9 over 10. So well done if you got those. Right, next questions. We've got 0.5, 0.02 and 0.7. Okay, I might as well do the last three actually. 0.99, 0.3 and I'll squeeze that in there, 0.6. So there you go. So you've got 6 questions to have a go at. I got them right! Yay! Oh wow, yeah, flurry of answers. Just as I was starting. So there is a slight trick one in there, so just be careful with one of them. You might have spotted which one it is. Oh. Do you want that? Oh, I like that question. Do you want the answers in their simplest form? If you want to. I mean, you could give me both answers. I know which one you're talking about. No, well, let's stick to not simplest form because I want to use the rule of 10 and 100. I know which question you're talking about because we can simplify these fractions, but I'd rather stick to the rule because these are correct answers. Yeah, if you're asked, if this is the question on the sheet, as you know, in a test or whatever, If it says convert them, just convert them. If it then says give your answer in its simplest form, that's another skill. So don't worry about that. I'm not focusing on that today. It's just getting answer 1. Okay? Getting the most basic conversion. Okay, so let's see. So question here. Okay, so it's 5/10, 5/10. Now, some of you might already know that is a half. So if you did put half as well, that's fine. That's just one of those decimals that we have to remember. So you might have already recognised it as a half, but they're both correct. Okay? So if you did just put 5/10, absolutely well done. Okay? We're going to come back to that one. 0.7, 7/10, 7/10. 0.99, nearly a whole number, 99/100. There's 2 digits at the top, so 2 zeros at the bottom. 0.3, 3/10, 0.6, 6/10. Now, coming back to this one, because 0.02, now, there is 1 whole digit, okay? And I know I said to you that however many digits there are at the top, there are at the bottom. But this is a trick. What you could do to help you is write all of that. So you could put 0.2, okay? Because there are two digits after the decimal point. The 0 is acting as what's called a placeholder. It's keeping that 2 in the hundredths place. If that 0 wasn't there, it'd be in the tenths place and it'd be a completely different number. So if it helps, put 0.2 at the top, just like it is in the decimal. There is still 2 digits at the top, so it's 100. But can you see? It's in the hundredths column. So if it's in the hundredths column, it must be over 100. And how many digits are, how much is the place value? There are 2 hundredths. So it is 2 out of 100, okay? So this, again, 2 tricks remembering that. It is 200, so it's 2 out of 100. Just like when we say 3/10, it's 3/10. But if you're not sure, put 0.2. That is still the same answer. 0.2 is the same as 2. But you might then go, oh, hang on, I don't need the 0 bit. Okay, so that's the tricky one. That can catch a lot of people out. Let's see how you did. Where's my phone? There it is. Fantastic! Yay! Wouldn't there be 0.9 for question 3? 0.09 for question 3. Wouldn't it be 0.09 for question 3? No, just 0.9, because it's 9/10, so it would be 9/10. And because there's 2 digits here, it's 99/100. Hope that makes sense. 0.09. So I just got a quick question on the feed. So 0.09 is the same as last one. So that's what it would look like. And again, that's 900. In the place value, there's no ones, there's no tenths, there's just hundredths. How many hundredths are there? 9, so it's 9 hundredths. So that's what that would look like. Okay? Right, the second part of the lesson is just the other way around. So this time I'm going to give you the fraction and I'd like you to convert it into a decimal. For example, if I've got 13/100, okay, we know our answer is going to start with 0. Now a way of doing this, because it's over 100, you know it's going to go into the tenths and the hundredths. Okay, because we know that's the tenth, so we must creep along there. What are the digits on the top? 1 and 3. Okay, so that's a way of remembering it. If it's 4/10, okay, 4/10, so it must only be going into one column, which is the 10th column, so it's 0.4. Okay. If you get the number, I don't know if this is on the sheet, if you get 8/100, now remember, 8 hundredths, 8 over 100. So it must be 0 point, and then must, because it's 8 hundredths, it must not just stop in the tenths, it must be going to the hundredths as well. Okay, because you've got your tenths there, and you've got your hundredths. How many hundredths have we got? It's 800, 8 hundredths. There's only 8 in the hundredths column. There are no tenths in that number, so you would put a 0. Because if you put the answer, if you put that as your answer, that's 8 tenths. That's a completely different fraction. That is that. Okay, so in this part, it's helpful if you wanted to put the little place value markers for you, and then you can just check the other way and make sure, right, okay, 0.08, 2 numbers, 2 zeros, got it. Okay, let's have a go. So again, I'll just put 3 on just to start. So we've got 9 tenths, 98 over 100, and we've got 3 tenths. So let's just see how we get on with that to start. If we're all good, we'll carry on. If there's any questions, I will answer them. This is very fun. Yay! I am enjoying it. Ooh, see, you're getting quicker now, guys. You are definitely getting quicker. Okay. So again, 2 ways of doing this. You might just read out the fraction. 9 over 10, 9 tenths. How many tenths are there? 0.9. 9 tenths. You say them, 9 tenths, 9 tenths. Or you might have gone, right, we're in the tenths, so it's 0 point, there can only be 1 digit. How many's on top? 9. So it's the same answer. So well done if you got 9 tenths. You can see 9 tenths, 0.9. 3 tenths must be 0.3. With this one, we're going into the hundredths, 98 hundredths. So we've got to have 2 spaces in our decimal point. Okay, there has to be 2 spaces because it's gone into the tenths and the hundredths. What are the digits? 9 and 8, so 0.98. Well done if you got those. Right, let's carry on then. Okay, so next questions. We've got 1 over 100. We've got 7 over 10. 76 over 100. 37 over 100. 4 over 10. And the last one, 97 over 100. So give those a go. So your last questions for this lesson. Yay, well done, those got it right. Oh, got some final answers. Okay. Oh, why am I rubbing them out? What's wrong with me? Why am I rubbing them out? My brain's not working. Oh, Steph. Why am I rubbing them out? It's just because I'm happy with... It's probably because I've just seen your answers and gone amazing. No point even going through them. Why am I rubbing them out? Maybe I just wanted to change colour pen. Maybe I wanted the blue to have a go today. I reckon it is. I reckon it's just because I saw your answers and just went, yeah, they've got it. They've got it. A bit too enthusiastic, Steph. Right. So, I'm going to come back to that one. 7 over 10, 7 tenths, 0.7. Okay. 76 over 100. Right, it's over 100. So it must be going into the hundredths column. So there must be 2 digits after that. It can't just be 1 because that only stays in the tenths. Okay? And what's the number? 76. Okay? 2 digits on the top mean 2 zeros on the bottom. Again, same with this one. 0.37, exactly the same rule. Same with this one. 0.97, exactly the same rule. 4 tenths. 4 tenths. Because it's only in the tenths column, it's going to be 1 digit after the 0. So 0.4. Right, the last one. Using the same rule as these 3, it goes into the hundredths. So it must be 0 point something something. Has to be. Has to be 2 digits after the decimal point. Because it's going into the hundredths. How many hundredths are there? 1. Ones, tenths, hundredths. So because it's 1/100th, the 1 must go there. So what goes there then? Well, there's nothing else there. There's no 3. There's no 7. There's just nothing there. Therefore, if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. The 0's acting as a placeholder and bumping the 1 along. So it's 0.01. Okay, now I can rub it out. No, I'm not going to. It's the end of the lesson. Thank you very much. Those of you who are patrons, you have got a special question 10, 11 and 12 to have a go at the bottom. If you want to inbox me with those answers, you can do. And one of those questions leads into tomorrow's lesson, because sometimes we're stepping it up the challenge. You might be asked, for example, what this fraction is as a decimal. And the alarm bells ring. We go, what? Because that is not a 10 or 100. So I will tell you how to do that tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely, lovely day. See you later. Bye-bye. Oh, my voice has survived this lesson as well. Yay!